Peak week, it is. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this video. It is time. We have come so far. We are 1 week out for the show. Tomorrow it will be Saturday, and that's the point we are going to start with the peak week protocols. And as you can tell, I'm pretty damn shredded, new veins everywhere. We are ready. In front of me, I have a couple documents from the coach. I will not go into the very specifics of the protocols, but I will give you a clear overview what we are going to do. So let's get started. So the plan for now is strategically decided by the coach Cliff Wilson. He was asking me, Rico, what are your intentions when it comes down to the first show and the second show? The first show, is it going to be very important? How are the athletes? And I never thought about that before, because the way the judge is going to judge based upon leanness or fullness or muscle mass. These are questions that you need to ask yourself during the contest prep and during the shows that you are going to pick out, because it's also going to dictate the eventual peaking protocols. So for this show, the Dutch Championships, WMBF, we are planning to come in full. And for the second show, the European Championships, INBA, which is going to be in Germany, which is going to be very hard. Germany has one of the best natural bodybuilders out there. So the strategy over there will be to come in as diced as possible and at the same time full. Now all these outcomes, getting full for the show or getting diced and full for the show, requires different strategies when it comes down to the last week of peak week. Now again, let me remind you, peak week, you have absolutely no place starting a peak week once you are not done and got rid of all the body fat. That's one of the most important things. People start peaking while they still have fat pockets on their body, which in the end can only absorb the extra water retention, looking washed out and all these things. At the same time, peaking is most definitely a very precise thing to do. What we are trying to do here is optimize for the just little things that's going to either be a huge difference on stage, the way you look, the way your muscles are popping, or it is going to be a complete error that you're going to make and you lose all the hard work because of the peak week. Me as a coach, I take a very precautious approach when it comes to peaking. Just want to make sure that we are not overdoing things. But Cliff Wilson is well known for having very aggressive peak weeks. That's the reason why I was starting with him. Tomorrow we are going to start with what he called a rapid backload. Now based on the data he gathered of my body, based on my metabolism, based on the tests that we have done, for example, a 510 grams carb up day was last Sunday, and he was looking at what it did to my body with the particular amount of sodium that I've taken, and it worked out good. He said, listen up, your body's metabolism is pretty quick, it adapts very quickly. We could have given your body much more carbohydrates. The thing that we are going to give you, we can probably push it even more, but I want to stay on the safe side. So what we are going to do is, first and foremost, tomorrow, Saturday, we are going to start peak week, 1 week out exactly, because next Saturday is the show. On tomorrow and Sunday, we are going to have a higher carbohydrate day than usual. Now I'm at 220 grams of carbohydrates, and what you need to understand is we have been eating into the show, meaning I was at the lowest at 130 grams of carbs, and now we build that up towards the 220 grams of carbs, filling out just a little bit more the body because I was already finished. Tomorrow we are going to increase that amount even more towards approximately 250-400 grams of carbs, and we're going to do that for 2 consecutive days. So Saturday and Sunday we are going to have a higher carbohydrate day. So now we are start loading, and it's just going to be basic macros, nothing fancy. We need to start checking in every single day with pictures. Everything that I'm going to tell you can change based on the feedback that I'm giving coach with my numbers, the data and the photos. Okay, so it's a very precise scientific way or approach to a peak week methodology. So we're gonna have that. The new thing that I need to experience, that I have to drink 2.5 gallons of water each day for tomorrow and Sunday, and that will continue in the rest of the week. So that's 9.5 liters a day to keep everything full, to make sure that the carbs go towards the right places. That's basically the plan for this weekend. Now, after this weekend, starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we are going to get into a protocol in which we are going to deplete, meaning the amount of carbs are going to be drastically lowered. Therefore, we are increasing just a little bit protein and we are increasing just a little bit of the fats to keep up the calories. Otherwise, you are going to lose weight too fast, endangering muscle loss to happen. That's not what we are trying to do here. And these are very specific meals that I get, like written out meal plans. The whole prep was flexible, but what I notice here is that we want to stay with very safe foods to don't mess up with the digestion that we have going on. We are pushing things, the systems, the bodily systems, and if you're going to mess up with a lot of variables like variety in the nutrition and stuff like that, we don't know where to fix it. So that's the reason why we are probably getting meal plans at this particular point for the very first time during this prep. Again, 2.5 gallons of water every day, so 9.5 liters a day. And instead of the Saturday, Sunday little carb up with a caloric intake of 2,645, we are getting in a depletion Monday to Thursday on a 1,884 caloric intake. Now, that's significant. You can gauge the amount of carbs that we are getting in. It's going to be less than 100 grams of carbs per day, and therefore we are depleting glycogen levels. Now, what is this going to do is eventually, one day before the show, on Friday, we are going to start with the massive carb up, or the rapid backload method that we are going to use. Now let me remind you that he said, Rico, actually want to give you a higher carb up. However, I want to stay cautious here. So the carb up, which is going to be on Friday, and Friday I will eventually go to a hotel with a client of mine and I will do his peak and stuff like that, but we can just chillax a little bit one day out and we are already on the location. Basically, it comes with a whole food list again and the amount of calories that we are going to push at that particular point is 4,546 calories. And yes, most of it coming from carbohydrates, pretty much, you know, not a lot of fat and protein to a degree that, you know, it's just filling up the meals to have some protein going on, but we are not trying to trigger protein synthesis at all. But what we are mostly trying to do is force the carbohydrates into the muscle cells and fill it out. We are talking 1,000 grams of carbs that we are pushing one day out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. It's gonna be the first time. So it will be a lot of rice cakes, caramel rice cakes, raisins, we're gonna have lean steak, chicken breast, some sea salt, potatoes, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 meals throughout the whole day, starting in the early morning till the late night. So it's not that we are, you know, every 2-3 hours we're going to eat. No, it's literally every 1.5 hours we're going to have a meal to get in the carbs. You know, to spread it evenly out throughout the whole day instead of getting a bunch of carbs and getting bloated. As we are increasing the carbohydrate intake, we are also going to increase a little bit the water intake. 9.5 liters to 10.5 liters on that particular day. Let me remind you, tomorrow we're starting 9.5 liters each day, Saturday, Sunday. That keeps going on for Monday in the depleting state, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday on the carb up day, the rapid backload is going to be 9.5 and to 10.5 liters of water. Wow, that's actually pretty tough, bro. That's a lot. That will be a lot of visits to the toilet, but it's making sure that everything stays hydrated, that the carbs go towards the places that it needs to go, that we are flushing pretty much everything out. But in a sense, you know, we just want to make sure that we are fully hydrated the whole time. That's important. When it comes down to the training, eventually on the first day of the training, Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow we have a rest day. And Monday we're starting with legs early on in the week. So we are not messing up with the definition in the legs once we are getting on show day. Now then we start Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we have a training. The 1 day out training on Friday is going to be, you know, a circuit training. That's what I've done before. And it's just making sure we are using higher reps, nothing into failure for the whole week. Yeah, that's basically it. Don't change a lot based on, you know, your activity. Keep a little bit of low intensity cardio each day. We are not pushing in heavy reps. It's pretty much on the higher reps to probably initiate more metabolic stimulus in the muscle, and therefore we are using much more glucose. Instead of using lower reps, using less glucose for that. We are trying to push glucose here, especially on the depletion days, where we can get a little bit of a super compensation going on, getting 4 days depletion, and the 5th day, the big carb up. So now we have overcompensation going on. The body's hungry for carbs, gonna soak it all up, and that's the reason why we are getting the 1,000 grams of carbs in. Every single day I need to check in. Every single day I need to see the coach in terms of my body, and from there we are going to tweak. A lot of things can change now. Okay, this is just the plan for now, but tomorrow it can be different. The next day it can be different. So based on the feedback and everyday check-ins, we are making changes to the plans we overall have. There are some certain things about creatine intake that we are trying to get rid of during the week, and in terms of supplements, with the high carbohydrate day, we are going to get a glucose disposal agent for the last final meals of the carb load. So that's something that I've never heard of before or done before, so I'm wondering what that was going to be. Now, to get in more carbs on the carb up day, we are going to use actually some things like dextrose or maltodextrin or Gatorade powder. In my case, we are going to use a isotonic drink powder that the cyclists always use in order to stay hydrated and to get a bunch of carbohydrates in. Alrighty folks, this is it. This is the master plan. Man, 1,000 grams of carbs, 10 liters a day. It's going to be a feast. But most important of all, we are already in our best shape ever. Today we are 3 kilograms heavier than we were last time. I'm wondering where we are going to start, where we are going to end. The depletion will probably get me below the 70 kilograms, but the carb up will get me back towards the 70.5, 71 kilogram, maybe even further, and with the muscles fully pumped. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's proceed. Let's keep you updated on what we are going to experience during peak week. Bam! Let's get it done, folks. We are here to become champion. Let's get it done.